Hello and welcome to Mystic Cyan's Magical Channel. In this episode, we're going to be exploring an old classic, Modern Warfare 2 from my high school days. I'm going to go into some details of why I believe this is still the best multiplayer game and why it had such an impact on my life. Without further ado, let's start this. So starting off with the gameplay, 95% of the games that you play nowadays, they have meta builds, even though they give you over 100 options as to what you want to use. Or if you don't use weapon A with attachments B, C, D, and perks X, Y, Z, you're not playing the game the right way to have a competitive edge, leaving you at a massive disadvantage or just flat out not enjoying the game because, you want everything should be equally balanced, or in this game's case, everything's overpowered. The perks in slot 1, 2, and 3 actually did something. They changed the dynamic of how the game was played. The perks that you used the most you can get pro versions of them, which was a fun challenge to go for, but at the same time also gave you another advantage, or added basically another. It's like having more perks when they were pro, which is pretty cool. And then when you prestiged, everything was reset, including those pro perks. So you had to find the fastest way to get to the next prestige and show off your skills in the game. So you have all your perks there, which is pretty awesome. We'll go over the perks, I think, in another video, more in depth, as well as let's see, we can do kill streaks, I think, in this one. Kill streaks were pretty cool. So why this game was so much fun is because your kills stacked on top of each other. So getting a 5 kill streak for a predator missile, and you would get a double kill, right? It would turn that into a 7 kill streak, which if you had the 7 kill streak attached, which was usually a Harrier, you would have a Harrier you call in, and the Harrier was pretty awesome. So I want to go into that in more depth just because of the topic. So starting off, we got the UAV, followed by a counter UAV, just because they're kind of the same thing. The map that you see in the top left corner of the screen right now is your radar, and it shows kind of everything that's going on in the map, which is pretty cool. Now this guy just called in his chopper gunner, and I see where he's at. Thanks to somebody, I think one of my teammates called in a UAV, but I know that he's going for a nuke because he just called in his Harriers, and now he's in a chopper gunner. So, so as you can tell by the radar, you can kind of see where everybody is. That's how what the UAV does. Now a counter UAV blocks it out, so it's all static, so you can't really see what's going on. From there, we have the care package. Now the care package dropped a random kill streak from the sky, which was a gamble because you could either get any of them all the way up to an EMP, which is a 15 kill streak. Unfortunately, the nuke did not come in a care package. Now in Call of Duty Ghost, there was one that dropped chem strikes, but that's completely different. That's a different game, so no worries here. The next up is going to be a sentry gun, which is a minigun attached to a tripod that surveyed an area, deleting any who would walk in its path. It was pretty devastating. Now this guy should have cold-blooded because he kind of shows up on the radar as you see there. Now I thought he was down here, but he ended up being up here, and luckily I dropped him. After the sentry gun is going to be the predator missile, which is not the actual predator from the movies, but a remote-controlled missile that dropped from the sky, which is pretty cool. After that comes the precision airstrike. Now this covers a small area on the map with 3 jets that drop bombs, which is pretty cool, but it was kind of underpowered compared to some of the other perks, especially for it being a 6 kill streak. It was much better to go Predator Harrier just because of how it all works out. After the precision airstrike is going to be the Harrier. Now that is, it calls in 2 airstrikes that blanket the area right before it goes afloat. That way you don't have to worry about somebody shooting it down from directly under it, which is awesome. Now this bad boy would come in after the 2nd airstrike, and it would hover in that area, and it would delete anyone under it. Like if you're out in the open, you are being deleted. Now the other cool thing about the Harrier that not many people actually knew back in the day is if anybody called in some kind of helicopter, like a Pavlo attack helicopter or chopper gunner, the Harrier would, with high prejudice, shoot that thing out of the sky. Like there was nothing that was going to stop it from dropping it from the sky. After the Harrier with a 7 kill streak is also the attack helicopter. Now this guy would fly around the map shooting at people from the turret on the front of the helicopter. Granted, it wasn't as strong as the Harrier because the Harrier just deleted. Now I don't know if this is because on the PlayStation that I played on it was bugged, but the attack helicopter didn't shoot very often. But I do have a few games that I've played where someone's used a attack helicopter and this thing was deleting people. So I don't know if that was like a PlayStation bug, but playing on Xbox, there is some slight differences that I have noticed. After the attack helicopter at 8 kills is the emergency airdrop. Now this dropped 3 care packages with a higher chance of being a better kill streak than the standard care package. However, it was still a gamble, and I have seen people get 2 ammo drops from it and a UAV, so it's dropped literally nothing, which is insane. But it is still really good. After the emergency airdrop at 9 kills is going to be the Behemoth, which is called the Pablo. This was like the attack helicopter on steroids, as this massive thing came equipped with flares and a turret that seemed to not have a cooldown and laid waste to anybody out in the open. Like if you're out in the open, and let's say they were all stacked up, it was deleting you and your teammate next to you and the guy next to you who just spawned. Like it was powerful. The Pablo was a lot of fun. Granted, in the PlayStation version, it was bugged that if you did not get a kill before your Pablo started killing stuff with your gun, it did in fact not count towards your kill streaks. So I haven't seen this issue on the PlayStation, on the Xbox, but if you were going for a nuke with a Pablo, like Harrier Pablo, yeah, it's kind of the downside to the Pablo. So again, that was a bug that was on the PlayStation. After the Pablo, we have the Stealth Bomber, which made a loud rumble as it would blanket a straight area across the map with bombs, usually decimating everything in that straight line. Now the dangerous thing about this one is you didn't know where it was coming from, only the fear you felt when you heard its rumble coming into the map. Last but not least is about what I'm about to call in here, which is the Chopper Gunner. Now this allowed you to control the helicopter's main gun while it moved around the map, and the bullets could ricochet into buildings, getting you the kill, which you will see in this gameplay, which is I'm about to call in here shortly. And this thing was awesome because again, with the ricocheting and the bullets and everything like that, I like the Chopper Gunner above the AC-130, but it also depended on the maps. Some maps the AC-130 absolutely shreds compared to the Chopper Gunner. But speaking of the AC-130, let's talk about that now. So, Des Titan rained down fire on the enemies caught outside with 3 guns, a giant booming cannon, which had a giant explosion. It had a smaller grenade cannon that kind of went thunk, 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 which is pretty awesome. And then you had the minigun, which is like, that was awesome. Now, if you cycled between these just right, whenever you would go from the main cannon after shooting that, you switch to the smaller cannons into the minigun. You would get the cooldown would basically cycle perfectly between all 3, allowing you to constantly spray the area or blanket the area with bullets. Like I stole my kill. After the AC-130, we have the EMP, which disabled the enemy electronics so they couldn't use their radar. You couldn't see how much ammo you have. Like everything on the screen basically disappears. So you can't see the score, you can't see your experience. So that was kind of a little OP. However, this was the only way you can actually combat a tactical nuke if you called it in at the right time. So like let's say when someone gets a nuke, they wait till like closer to the end of the map to call it in, and then you call in your EMP within the last 15 seconds of the map, you can prevent a nuke being called in and secure victory. However, it was very hit or miss, and you couldn't guarantee that you would get that. Now here I got the Chopper Gunner, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to call it in because we're already at 143 and 144. I do wait a second thinking that guy's going to chase me down, but I do see my teammates coming in, so I was like, sweet. So I just decided to say, screw it, I'm going to call it in, and let's see what happens. After the AC-130 at 15 kills is going to be the... I just went over the EMP. Alright, but so last but not least was the one that everyone dreamed of, the tactical nuke at a whopping 25 kills without dying. This was the one that everyone craved during their time playing to drop this bad boy ending the game, securing a victory for your team, even if you were losing, which is so great about it. Plus, it gave you a bunch of kills too. Doesn't mean you're killing pretty much everybody in the map anyways. Now, it doesn't count your friendly kills towards your kills, but the enemy kills does count towards it. So, if you could at least get 7 kills with your Harriers like I did in this gameplay, and got at least 4 kills with your Harrier, you were in a Chopper Gunner / AC-130 on your way to your nuke to win a match, as long as nobody killed you while you were in Chopper Gunner / AC-130, which you can see right about here. I'm about to get it. And then this just earns a victory here, which is awesome. So this was my last kill for the nuke, just as it times out, so I didn't have to go out and chase for somebody and risk being killed. And then there's my tactical nuke. Plus we were losing, so this again secures victory of the gameplay. So all of this is what made Modern Warfare 2 so iconic, and even though they tried to recreate this feeling in the future titles, none of them held the same weight as this game had during those times, and to this day no other game can hold a title this one holds as greatest in the world. I'll go over the weapons and the perks in the next videos, as this is a lot to cover in one video, which I will be posting tomorrow. Not a nuke video, but still some good gameplay. If you enjoyed any of this content, please cast a spell on the like button, and to keep the portal open for more content in the future, subscribe.